If you lead a team, do you ever wonder, what if I'm actually the problem? Most leaders push that thought away really fast because who has time for self doubt? But that fear runs deep anyway. You carry the pressure to perform, to stay composed, to be the one who has it together. So when someone suggests another behavioral tool, another test, the first instinct normally is, no thanks, I don't need something that exposes me in front of my team. But here's the thing, the EPA test that I will show you in this video doesn't expose anyone. It reveals how pressure moves through you and your people so that you can lead without burnout or blame. In this short tutorial, I'll show you one powerful case, a brilliant, quick-to-act leader who discovered that the key to managing his team wasn't pushing them harder, but it was understanding how his own drive created resistance around him. Before I show you the actual test, let's start with the elephant in the boardroom. Most leaders worry, if I do this test, my team will see my flaws. Or maybe, oh God, HR will use the results against me. But the EPA test was built precisely to prevent that dynamic from happening. It doesn't label, grade, or diagnose. It simply maps behavior under the daily pressure of life and work. That means that it shows how energy flows through a team, where it speeds up, where it slows down, and where it clashes. Everyone, including the leader, gets data. Never, never, never judgment. And that's what turns defensiveness into ownership of change. Here is our leader, a powerhouse. His EPA test shows he is quick to act. Remember our action or goal-oriented columns, the red ones. He has grit, determination. He has a clear vision pulling him forward, and also the discipline to carry it through with more than enough self-reliance and self-esteem. So it's the kind of person who wakes up already running. But look down here, collaboration, a little bit low, understanding, empathy, extroversion, very low. And not because he doesn't care, but because his brain moves faster than his surroundings. So under pressure, his energy spikes even more and he moves towards the action with greater intensity. So he thinks that he's motivating people, but what they feel is intensity, constant motion, no breathing room. Now let's look at a few of his team's profiles. We have on the right side, that's his profile, and these are just 5 of his team members. You can see how the tests and the behaviors show up in completely different, opposing ways. They are all solid performance, but they process more slowly. Most of them compensate by complying. They nod, they agree, they quietly freeze in fear. Others resist, they argue, they delay, or they avoid him entirely. So from the outside, it looked like poor performance. From the outside, it can look like poor leadership or management. But inside, I tell you, it's just a pressure mismatch. And here is the turning point in this particular case. The leader didn't blame them. He took the results as a fantastic mirror. He saw that his very strength, his relentless dynamism was also the team's stressor. He said, I realized I was just dragging everyone uphill at my pace, and I thought I was helping them. So he started changing small behaviors. He slowed his communication rhythm. He slowed down everything. He left more space for feedback. He separated his personal drive from his team's capacity. And something remarkable happened because not only did projects flowed better and in a smoother way, but his relationships at home changed. He told me my wife said she finally felt me present instead of wired up all the time. And that is the same wired up that he was bringing into his team unknowingly. So that's the ripple effect of the EPA test. The moment that leaders use it as a launch pad for self-adjustment and not as a diagnostic for other people. But here may come another thought or objection. My team will feel judged. That's another common fear team leaders have had before working with the EPA test. What if we show people their results and they'll feel exposed? Actually, the opposite happens because everyone gets their own behavioral map at the same time, and nobody is the villain or the wrong one or the ugly duckling. Each person sees their own patterns and how they interact with everybody else. The focus is on freeing potential. Therefore, the language is encouraging, and neutrality turns feedback into curiosity. So we don't say you are controlling. We would say like you are very goal-oriented, and sometimes this gets in the way of the team harmony. The team stops defending themselves and they start adjusting themselves together with everybody else. Fear thrives in the dark. When people cannot see what's really happening, they fill the gaps and the silence with stories and assumptions. The EPA test replaces all stories with objective scientific data. And when their behavior becomes visible, the nervous system relaxes, both yours as their leader and your team's. And that's what creates psychological safety, this clarity. If you've ever felt that tug, that maybe your energy overwhelms others or that you're constantly dragging and pushing, the EPA test can show you exactly where and how that happens without blame or shame. Get in touch with me and we'll look at one real situation in your leadership and see whether the EPA test can make your management smoother, lighter, and more fluid for you and your people, maybe even your family. Because leadership gets easier when you stop guessing who the problem is and where the problem is, and you start seeing how behavior moves through your people. Talk to you soon.